A few years ago, I would have looked at homeschool curriculum and based my decisions on if it was the right one. And, well, I no longer make my homeschool decisions that way. Welcome back to Making It Everyday Magic. My name is Shauna, and if you are new here, we're a homeschooling family of 4. We are in our 10th year of homeschooling. And today I want to talk with you about homeschool decisions with the goal in mind. Before we go any further, please scroll down, hit the big red subscribe button, turn on that bell for notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. As always, you can find me right on down in the comments or over on Instagram at Making Everyday Magic. So I'm going to cover a lot in this video. You guys know that recently we have been chatting about how things feel different and things are shifting, and I'm moving into high school and last year of elementary. There's a lot that's coming along with that. And I get a lot of questions. We're using less, we're buying less, we're refining what we use. You guys know I basically, every single thing that comes into my house, I use differently. And we're coming into July when I'm going to be sharing the pieces we are using and literally planning them out and figuring out how we're gonna use them and when we're gonna use them and all of the things. So I thought this video would be really important to go into that video because we're gonna talk about homeschool decisions and how I am making them. How I make these decisions has changed. And you may be with me or you may be ahead of me or behind me, but you'll understand if you homeschool. A lot of things we look at, is this enough? Is this the right fit? Is this gonna be, the perfect thing? And there's a lot to be said for that in making decisions. If you have a kinesthetic learner, asking them to sit down and do a literature-based curriculum, probably not ideal. So these are things that you need to factor into your decision making. The way that I have made my decisional, no, I don't know, there's a word, it's escaping me, it can't possibly be a real word. The way I have made my decisional shift is that now, instead of asking if it's right, instead of making decisions from a place of fear of not doing enough, I say, what's my goal? So I am thinking in game in mind, what is my goal? And that honestly has come up a lot this year because I need to know what my goals are because we're going into high school. So it is very important that I know what those goals are because what is the end goal? And then I had to work it back and I had to scaffold, and we have a whole video on that. If I remember, I'll link it, the plan for 9 through 12, I'll link that one up here because it's a lot that I need to know. But mainly, I need to know what's fitting my goals. And this is also how I amend, adapt, and change a curriculum that I have. So it's a really good conversation to have before I start showing you all the things we're going to use because I'm going to amend and change and alter whatever it is to suit my needs based on my goals. So what is your goal? If your goal is to have your child reading, then you may choose, like we did, all about reading curriculum. If you want your kid to have that really strong phonetic base, then you would choose something like that. If your goal is not to have that, you might choose something else. If your goal is to get it done, you might choose how to teach your child to read in 30 lessons or whatever that book was. But the goal is what matters. So for me, I know, especially for a real life example, we are heading into 9th grade with my oldest, okay? We will be using Word Within a Word, the Magic Lens Level 2 from Michael Clay Thompson, Word Within a Word Level 2. And this past year, we used Word Within a Word Level 1. And the vocabulary from before, it jumped up to a level of insanity that I have never even seen. Had I known it was going to do that, I would have done something differently. The vocabulary for Michael Clay Thompson is so much information. Thankfully, Level 2 is reinforcing, which is great. And there is so much history that comes along with that, which is honestly a lot. So I know that we can improve upon our vocabulary process from this past year. I know it, she knows it, we all know it. So I asked her what she would feel was more successful for vocabulary. And she said she thought it would be helpful if she had multiple choice tests. Fair. So, because right now it's just open-ended. Define the stem, define the word, and sometimes it gets confusing. Anyways. So, I have been working to put that solution for her in place. Now, how do I know how to do this or what my goal is? Well, I know that my goal with this vocabulary is not that she can regurgitate every single stem or large word. I do not need her to be able to vomit every definition out. I need her, when she sees it on her SATs or in advanced literature, to say, I've seen this before. I do not know what this word means, but I know that this piece of it means look. And then she can figure out either what the word means or what the test answer she should circle is to give her the best chance of success. So my goal is not that she can regurgitate every single little thing that she comes across. That is not my goal. My goal is enough retention that she has maximum success, SAT and ACT. So knowing that that is my goal, I have amended my plan. My plan is I've got Excel spreadsheets going. We are making CSV files for every definition and word, and I will be building multiple choice tests, likely through Google Forms. If I can make this happen, I will have a way to share with you. Multiple choice tests through Google Forms. I will also be building word searches and crosswords and probably like a match to definition so that she can utilize these to really drill in those words. Why? Because I don't need her to have the history of the book. I have also decided that we will not be reading all of the history of the book. Why? One, it is too godforsaken much history of the book, okay? The Greek and Roman history that she needed to know was like 5 books ago. This is too much. Also, we are doing Nomadic Professor, which I know is a much bigger, much heavier bit of history. So is my goal that we pour all this history in my child who is very likely going to study musical theater? No, it is not. That would be a misaligned goal. That would be dumb. This would be not fruitful, and everyone would hate each other. So my goal is not to do that. I do not need to double down, not to mention we're doing world history. So we will cover the Greeks and the Romans in Nomadic Professor. I do not need to double dip. This is not necessary. I do not need this to happen to any of us, okay? Not only are we not interested in that level of history, it would be a flippin' nightmare as far as timing and scheduling, and it just would be for no fruitful purpose in my life. So knowing that we've got a history going, which I will also amend, I haven't looked at it yet to know how we're going to get there, but Nomadic Professor, I'm going to be slicing and dicing as well. Knowing that my goal is simply that she has great success on that test, that she can look at words that she might see in a script or in Shakespeare and have an idea of what the word means, knowing that this will serve her in life as it should. That is my goal. That helps me decide what we're using, where we're going, and how I am going to modify it. Another perfect example of this, if you want to hear one more, is in Math-UC. Math-UC program that we have used for math for both of my kids, all the lower levels for sure, is mastery based, okay? And so they say that until your kid has all of these multiplication facts, you do not move forward. I have never once done that to anyone. Why? Because my goal is not to make my kids hate math. No, it is not. My goal is that by doing it enough, they'll get there. I don't need to stress on that. Okay, there are so many times when I don't think we recognize that the hill we're trying to die on doesn't even matter. Okay, my goal is 3 mountain ranges away. This doesn't mean schneich. You know what I'm saying? So there is no reason for anybody to suffer, to be miserable, to hate what is happening, both in vocabulary or math, like 2 of the most dull subjects ever. Another way we're pivoting. I'm not having her read the literature selections from Michael Clay Thompson. She hates it and doesn't want to, okay? And I think that's fair. Not to mention my husband and I have some insights. So one of them is Red Badge of Courage. He was like, man, that was a hard read for him. He's like, I don't want to, okay. And we're going to give her things she wants to read because inspiration is going to help you in education every single time. So I wanted to come here and I wanted to remind you that homeschool decisions, yes, they should be made from a place of knowing what you need to do, but by all means, know where you're going when you're making these decisions. So if my goal is 34 weeks of schoolwork, I'm not going to choose a curriculum that has 42 weeks and use it 42 weeks worth. That would be foolish. Making my homeschool decisions from a place of knowing what my goal is, this is how I can decide what we pick up, what we add, what we drop, what we change, and what we amend. I think so often we make these decisions from a place of fear. We make these decisions from a place of pressure. We make these decisions based on what we think instead of taking ourselves honestly entirely out of the equation, which for myself, if I can make something completely without objective and I can just, it gives me so much relief to make myself, my emotions, my feelings not part of the equation. If I know that the goal is this, I am serving the goal. Okay, so I mean, feel free to amend your goal, change your goal, have everybody involved in the goal-making process. But my goal is to get the high school credits in a manner that it's going to serve her in the things that she will be remotely interested in, and to send her on her way on a path to college should she so choose it, that she is well ready for that life. As far as vocabulary goes, I need her to be able to kill it on the SATs and ACTs, okay? I need her to be able to do her best, but I also want her as a human to be able to fall back on that knowledge we have laid before. Does she need every bit of those 10 pages per chapter of history? No, she does not. And we will be covering that in something else. So my goal is not to swim in large amounts of history. My goal is to best serve my kids where they are going, genuinely headed and going. So massive amounts of world history, because that's another thing, guys. I am not the person who's going to drill down facts and details. That is not something that I find valuable, so that's not something I'm going to have them doing. It's being able to recite the exact dates from the exact thing. I want them to appreciate it. I want them to have heard about things, and I want them to be able to recall that information without drowning in the minutia when that's not the goal. Keep your goal in mind, and it will help you. It will serve you so that you know how you want to do things along the way. It has served me well every step of the way, especially when I am modifying curriculums and deciding what to switch and dice and chop up. So as we're going into July, when I'm going to be sharing all of the things, I'm going to deep dive those things that I haven't even looked at yet. Next books for science, nomadic professor, how are we structuring that? I don't even know. But when I get there and when I'm doing it, you're going to understand why I'm doing it the way that I'm doing it, because I have my goal in mind, okay? So I just want to remind you, don't get drowning in all the things right now. Don't get fear-based decision-making. Think about your goal. If it serves your goal, it's a go. If it doesn't, let it go, okay? Guys, I hope that you found any of this helpful, entertaining, or informative. If you did, please scroll down, hit that big red subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. As always, you can find me right on down in the comments or over on Instagram at Making Everyday Magic. While you were down there, let me know what's something that you were like, wait a minute. You had that realization, that smack in the face where it didn't align with your goal and it didn't matter. Because as soon as we can just, it is such a relief. It is such a good feeling to recognize that you can freely let it go because it was not serving you. It wasn't serving your learner and it wasn't getting you closer to your goal. What is your goal? I would love to hear it down below. And together, guys, let's keep making everyday magic.